Hello again, welcome back to Asgaard, and welcome back to Pixelgaard. So, today we're going to be picking back up, well, not picking back up. Last episode, of course, we were working on the pagoda. Today we are actually going to start working on just adding in some farms. It's not going to be something that we set out and finish the entire farming area. It's basically just something to get us sorted on food, because I'm steadily running out of food. I say steadily, it's actually pretty quick, and so it is something that we do have to get on to. Between episodes, I haven't done that yet. I kind of got sidetracked, but I did spend a bit of time doing just a little bit of landscape work. I'm not done. It's actually taking a while. It's actually taking quite a while, because I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want to lay all this out. But you can see that I did kind of bring some dirt up around here. I've actually been struggling on dirt. I went mining for dirt just a minute ago. And then over here, I've kind of started bringing this around, just starting to bring this around, basically, that's going to wrap around this hilltop. And then it kind of goes down here. I like this little area down here, actually. So we're going to do something with this and kind of keep it somewhat natural. We will add some stuff to this, but yeah, I want to keep this overall pretty natural. I do believe. And over here, I've actually cleared out some trees, and you can see I've started bringing this down. It's not just going to be a big wall. I'm actually going to shape this up, but I'm just kind of starting to work with that, right? Because I have, I don't know, all this bit of land, and basically it just needs to come out and wrap around, because it kind of went diagonal right there, but I need it to kind of wrap around that edge there a bit. I did clear out some area over here, and this is actually where we're going to start our farming area. I wish the Pixelmon wouldn't be all laggy whenever I flew. I'm actually thinking a lot of our farming area is going to be back in here, because I want kind of a flat area, a flat-ish area. I mean, we can adjust it and make it a little bit more flat, but I kind of want like a slow incline, so we're going to build that. Like I said, I don't think we're going to actually finish the farming area by any stretch of the imagination, but it's going to be something that we just steadily add to, I do believe. But today I just want to get basically a baseline. I'm going to shoot for just one episode messing with the farming area, and then we can get back to the pagoda, and then we can do the farming area bit by bit. But I decided on that little area because it's about the flattest area in our general vicinity. Man, I don't know why these things are so laggy when you fly, and it's not like server TPS or anything like that is off, you know. It's just they're just being buggy. I don't know. But yeah, so I think we're gonna do all of our farming work back in here, or you know, the majority of it, because back in this direction, like this area is going to be a little bit less populated. As we move farther out in that direction, it's going to hit a little bit more populated stuff up in here. So I kind of want the farming back in here, and then of course we have our apricot farm over there, and our blacksmith, and then we're going to build a little dock there and stuff. But so anyways, let's go ahead and get into what we're going to be doing, working on this. And let's see. Let me grab these buckets real quick, because we're going to need these today as well. And let me go ahead and pop down here and just get a little bit of water. So we got it on hand. And I think what we're going to do, we're going to go with the Field Ridges. This is from Chinese Workshop, and you can kind of make like a rice paddy type farm using those. So visually, I don't think it's all going to come together this episode, you know, by any stretch of the imagination. Like I said, it's just going to kind of be something that we get in place. My ping's actually kind of low today. I don't think there's any correlation between how the Pixelmon behave and the ping, though, because yeah, there's times when it's when my ping is up and it still does that. So anyways, I'm going to clear out a little bit of these flowers. I've actually gotten a ton of flowers. Anytime I do any kind of building on here, I get a ton of flowers, because of course living in a flower forest, there's just flowers everywhere. But what we're going to do is actually Let me go grab my hoe. I've actually got a hoe. I think it's just a stone one. Yeah, just a stone one that I've got here. Let's go ahead and grab that. And what we're going to do, I'm actually going to have the water be off on the edges. And I was looking at food, and of course we have to plan based on the fact that we're not going to have a steady source of meat. Because, I mean, technically we could get into essence crops, or make a spawner with Ender.io, something like that, but I have no intentions of doing that because it doesn't really fit Pixelmon, in my opinion. Oh, by the way, one really cool thing. Actually, shortly before starting this episode, I defeated a Mega Pidgeot, and it actually dropped a Life Orb. So we have an extra. Not something that I actually need because, of course, I spent all that time farming for the two that I do have, but we did get a Life Orb drop. So, cool stuff. But anyways, yeah, so I'm not going to plan on a steady source of meat, which is fine. We can go on a more vegetarian diet, and maybe, you know, as meat builds up, we can throw some meat dishes in there. But my actual plans are going to be more vegetarian based. Now, we can still make cheese, and we will set up probably a meal tank farm at some point. We'll actually probably do that before too long. Maybe once this is done, we'll actually set out to capture some meal tanks and make a meal tank ranch that we can use to make large amounts of cheese and stuff. But for right now, we're just going to have vegetable bases. And so I was looking through here, and I think what we're probably going to go with as a solid source of food without being overly involved, and of course not taking into account, taking into account that we don't currently have cheese and we don't have large surpluses of meat. I think what we're going to go with is cornbread. Bread we can make with either 3 wheat, or we can smelt flour from Ender.io if we want to do the sag meal. I don't really have a reliable source of power for that, so I'm probably just going to go with the 3 wheat. It's actually not too bad. And then corn, we can just smelt corn for that, to get that. And then we just combine those two together, and you get cornbread, and that's 4 hunger. And it's a pretty solid source of food for us starting out, until we get a little bit more infrastructure in place. So what I'm going to do, let me just build out a little bit of this here. Okay, and that's 4. And this should be far enough back that we're not going to have any kind of conflict of interest. I mean, that's a lot of... I don't want to build out too much of the farm right now because I'm still working on figuring out how all this is going to shape around. But I think if we start here, this should be plenty good. Plenty of distance there. And we shouldn't have any kind of issues with the base of that dirt coming out this far. So, okay, yeah, I think what we're going to do is we're going to make kind of a terraced design. Starting in this area, and then we're going to kind of basically run it up from the river. I think it's going to be what we're going to do today. The farmland's going to be, a lot of this area back in here is going to be farmland. It's not all going to be one big section of farmland, if you know what I mean. So what we're going to do, we'll start actually right in here, I think. And we're going to have it, basically this layer right here is going to be the start of our farmland. So let's go ahead and just kind of shape up some of this ground just a little bit. And these filled ridges, let's go ahead and make, let's do some more of those. There's 52. And kind of what I'm thinking is we're just going to have filled ridges that run, basically filled ridges that run along like this. And I think, of course it's going to start raining. Of course it is. And that's 3. Can you jump? No, you can't jump on those. Yeah, something like this. And then let's go ahead and bring this in. Just going to bring it in like that. And then I may shape the ground out a little bit more around this, but not sure. I kind of wish they don't keep the same texture as like the normal dirt, or the the texture pack dirt, but that's okay. There's nothing we can really do about that. So what we're going to do, let's come in. This will actually be where we want it to be at. And we're going to place down a bucket of water right there. And then we're just going to come through and let's see, let's grab our hoe. And basically that's going to cover out all of this ground. And then something like that. Okay. There we go. And I did turn mob griefing off. I'm not for sure if that's going to allow the Pixelmon to still trample farms. That I'm not sure about. Like if I throw out... Not sure about Swallow. I'll have to be careful though that I don't smash the farmland, but I'll have to see what I want to do about that. I might make some kind of a little walkway or something so that we can actually get down to these. That might be the best way to go about this. I'm not for sure though. I'm not sure if there's a way to just completely cancel out trampling farmlands. I mean, I'm sure there's a mod or something, maybe, but I'm not sure if there's like a game rule for that or not. But that's okay. We'll start with this and then we'll figure it out from there. TM160 recycle. Okay, so that would basically be a layer of this. And then what I would do is, and this is where it gets a little bit more tricky because I'm not going to be able to like really jump up this, but I don't know, sacrifices have to be made. Of course, technically there's auto farmers, but like I said, I don't really have any interest in getting into those. I don't believe. Let's go ahead and just build that out like that. And then we'll just run this over and just kind of terrace these up. And see, what I'm thinking is, I mean, you can step up and down these, and then we can just step up and go along like that. It's kind of what I'm thinking. But, I wish the texture on these dirt field ridges matched. You know what I mean? Well, I'll tell you what, one thing I could do is replace all that with, like, say, chiseled dirt. That might work okay. I don't know, I'm going to have to give that some thought, but yeah. But this is kind of what I'm thinking, is kind of have it tiered. It just looks so out of place, though. Or what I might end up doing is making our own ridges. Because we have the slice blocks, it would be very, very easy to do that. I mean, I'd have to make different corner pieces and stuff, but that might actually be something worth considering. Maybe. For now, I'm going to do these, but that might be something that we do. I'm not going to do it right now because my little tiles efforts are dedicated to that right now, and I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on this because this is basically just so we can get some food up and going. And so I can put this kind of on the back burner and give it some thought and stuff, and it's no biggie to do that. So, but let's go ahead and just continue bringing this up another layer, I suppose. And I think that one block actually might cover all of this area. And I'm probably going to have to give it some time and see if the Pokemon trample it at all, but we'll see. We'll see how it works out. But okay, so for right now, what I'm thinking is we are going to plant... let's see. We're going to have to plant corn, and we are going to have to plant wheat. Those are must-haves, I think. So let's see... Okay, sorry about that. I actually, if you're wondering what that sound was, it actually got a little bit warm in here. I guess because I have the door closed and everything, and I don't know, my computer, I guess, just warmed up the room. So I moved a fan in here, and I forgot that it was running whenever I hit record, and so that's what that noise was in the background. But anyways, so we need to plant some corn and some wheat at least. These two things I think will be the main thing right now, and then I've only got one corn seed at the moment, but that's okay. And I guess I probably don't have any corn in here. Nope. I have some bread. Okay, so let me get... See, I have like 1,000,000 bones. We'll just grab some of these. Make up some bone meal, and then hopefully I can just bone meal the corn. I'm not for sure what the corn's going to look like fully grown. Have they trampled anything? Nothing yet. Okay. I went AFK for a minute because I was letting the fan cool off. After I realized it was running, I was like, well, I'm going to let it cool off the room a little bit. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some little tiles. Patterns. Basically, all I need to make is a straight, a corner, and then if we do any like crisscrosses, something like you know, something like that or that, I'll have to make some patterns like that, but we'll see. We may have some flatter areas, but I think most of this I want terraced like that. I just have to be careful not to fall off of these myself, like off of the full blocks, because if I smash that, it will break it, but, you know, I'll just have to be mindful of that, which I don't mind. I think these farms, once they're done and once I do a little tiles pattern for these ridges, because I like the idea of the fill ridges, but with the texture pack that we're running, they just don't match up. And it wouldn't be any issue at all to make a little tiles pattern, so we'll do that later, but... okay, so let's go ahead and plant our corn. What in the world? Huh. That's weird. Okay, well. Let's go ahead and get a bunch of seeds for this. Just as many as I can possibly get, I guess, for right now. And I'm not going to worry about lighting this up. I feel like stuff's just like duplicating randomly. Because I think I had less bone meal and then it like... I had a half stack again, but... okay, so there's 30, and can I change... Yeah, I can turn those into seeds if I want to. But we'll just go ahead and run this out. Yeah, let's go ahead and get some more seeds. And I think for right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with... because our fields are actually just going to be mixed up. We're going to have, say, corn on this layer, and then we'll have, say, wheat on this one, and then maybe potatoes, and so on. And then, as we expand out, we'll have more of kind of the same thing. Because eventually this will be, a lot of this area back in here is going to be fields. So, kind of like right now, there's where it's terraced out, and then it's going to kind of come up through here, and kind of fill in this, and then probably around the back of this, and this whole big area eventually will maybe just be farms. Because I never plan on automating the farms with like a harvester. I'm just going to have it manual harvest. So I want, instead of having it, you know, automated, we're just going to have a lot of it, you know, planted. And then we'll also have the mystical crops that we use, like the wood and the dye and, you know, maybe dirt and stuff like that. We'll have those planted in our farms. Once, I'm just going to give it some time before I do that, just to see if any Pokemon are trampling our fields or if they're pretty safe, you know, laid out like this. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do maybe 2 terraces of corn. I don't know if I want to... Yeah, I'm going to put them together. So we'll go ahead and build out a second. This one's a little bit smaller, but we'll go ahead and do 2 of these with corn, and then we'll do maybe 2 with wheat. And that's going to get us enough, I would say enough planted to where we could easily have plenty of cornbread available to us. So let me go ahead and dig this back a little bit. And I think we'll have to even off this a little bit. I'm thinking we're going to have... This section's going to come out like that. And then I'll probably just have it hook in like right there maybe. Okay, so maybe something like that. And then we would have it come up. Oh yeah, I like the way that's looking from up here. Okay, so right in here what we'll do is build this area out. And I'll just bring that over like that, I think. And then right over here, this will be a little bit longer of a section, but we'll bring it in right there, I think. Because I don't want these to be too even. I want them to be kind of, you know, like, I guess, say the farm was built this way based on how the terrain was. Of course, I'm changing it up, of course, but kind of like terraced down towards the water like that. And I think that'll be good. And then let me go ahead and swap that. Yeah, I think so. And let me go get a little bit of water here. And we'll just go in, and let's see, we'll just go in right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. There, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to cover all of this area. And then I'll just put another one, say, right in there. Okay. I think I'm going to like doing the farms this way, especially once I get the little tiles stuff done in that I want to do. I think it's going to look pretty nice. I think so. And then what I'll do is right here, I'll probably have another pattern where it basically like has like a slice or something that goes up and plugs into the block, say on the next layer. Maybe something to that degree. We'll see. I'm just going to kind of play around with it when that time comes. So I don't know if I want to do that or not. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter at the moment because we're going to do little tiles stuff through here. But okay, so let me pop down. Let me get a little bit more water. Now, a lot of times I'll set up farms and stuff off camera. But I figured on here, since it is kind of a building series, we do farms on camera because, you know, we're doing a little bit more than just doing a square farm. So, okay, I need to go make another hoe. Okay, I need one more bucket of water here. Grab that. And then we'll get our wheat planted, get that growing, and then we can start making our first bits of cornbread. And so finally, I'll be eating something that's actually prepared, you know, more than just cooking up a meat. Of course, the XL food mod, it's not like super in-depth like Pam's Harvestcraft level food. So there's nothing terribly intricate to make. It's pretty much just all like cook a couple things and stick it together. A lot of use of dough and cheese and stuff like that within the mod, I've noticed. So I think I actually want that ridge sticking out 3 like that. Okay, so now let's go ahead and plant our... Ooh, I like the way those seeds look for the wheat on here. It's that texture pack. They're a little bit different. Which I do appreciate. I'm curious to see how they look fully grown, actually. This may actually look pretty cool whenever it's all fully grown and stuff. And that's one nice thing about manual harvesting instead of just automated harvesting is you actually have farms that are like filled out most of the time, unless, you know, whenever you go out and harvest them. Wow, I used up all those seeds. Okay, well, I've got some wheat up here. I'll just go grab that. Let me get some more, well, I've got more bones right here. Which I guess really I could just grow some of these because I want to see how they look fully grown anyways. So that's what they're going to look like, is like that, which is pretty good. I need one more seed, which I guess technically I could just do... Oh, the wheat to seed recipe isn't available. Okay, well, there we go. Awesome. So, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to need some corn before we can actually start making our cornbread. So I'm just going to go ahead and grow a bit of that, and I'm going to get a little bit more wheat too. I've got some wheat over there, and I've got some bread made up, but yeah, actually, I guess since I've got bread made up, of course, this stuff's going to be able to grow, so by next episode, I'm going to have, like, all I can eat food, pretty much. But, let's go ahead, and we'll still plant, like, potatoes and stuff like that, too, so no worries. Let me grab that. Let me grab this. Let's pop over and get this stuff smelting up. And eventually we will get some more intricate power with Ender IO. Probably solar-based power is probably what I'm going to go with. Just something kind of more than anything just out of the way, and we don't have to worry about it. Because I don't plan on doing a whole lot with power and energy and stuff like that on here. So, because it's more of like a break from it. But we will get some more, we will get into a little bit more power. But it's going to be a while because, like I said, no temp setups for the most part. And, of course, we did do a little small temp setup for our dye and wood seeds, but that's going to be gone soon. Because I'll probably, between episodes, just kind of as something to do, like, off camera while I'm editing and stuff, because that's one thing that's kind of slowed down, like, normal progress within this pack, is I don't really have a whole lot of projects that I'm doing off camera. I've done a little bit of landscaping and stuff like that, but you know, not a whole lot of stuff that I've got to do off camera because we're doing so much of it on camera build work. So a lot of times I'll hop on here, I'm like, what should I do? Because most everything I'm doing is on camera, you know, so it's kind of a different thing. So but that's going to give me something I can kind of work on those farms and continue expanding those out, just kind of off camera, just kind of keeping with the same pattern and style more than anything. And then we'll do some little tiles, ridge blocks, basically. Let's go ahead and whip up as much bread as we can, and I'm just going to dump that into there, and then we can take our corn. Wow, is that actually just the right amount? So there we go. There's 18 cornbread. Awesome. And I can just throw those pork chops in there, because I can use these later for, see, we can make sausage, jambon beurre, I don't know, and then bacon. But basically, without animals, getting a consistent amount of the stuff, it's more of like a treat food. Like, oh, I've got some pork chops because I killed such and such Pokemon. And that'll be the main time that we have that kind of food. And have access to that kind of food is during that type of situation. Every Pokemon today is wanting to attack me. Normally it's not nearly this many, but yeah, so I'll just continue this up. I mean, with XL Food Mod, we have a lot to plant as far as seeds go. And then we're also going to have a little cactus farm and sugarcane farm and stuff like that later on. But, whoops, wrong place. But you can see there's a bunch of different types of seeds up here. Not to mention the, you know, all the different mystical crop seeds that we'll use. We won't use nearly as much as I think what most people are using, but we will have a few. Wood seeds, dirt seeds, stuff like that we will probably end up having. Dye seeds. Basically just decorative stuff, nothing related to resources, mining, food, nothing like that. So I don't plan on using it for any of that. But yeah, so there's, we're also not going to use apricorn seeds either. I'm not even sure where I got those. Unless they came from a chest, maybe. Or maybe I made them or something. I don't remember. There is vanilla flowers, vanilla extract. I'm not sure if we can plant these. Makes vanilla cream, but I'm not sure if these are growable or how they work. I mean, I don't see like a seed. I don't know if they spread. I'll have to look into that, but there is onions, cucumbers, rice, lettuce, peppers, tomatoes, strawberries, corn, and then of course vanilla stuff. I mean, there's actually a lot to grow, plus mystical crops. So our farms are actually going to be pretty big, I think. So, but yeah, so that's really all I wanted to cover for this episode. Kind of a quick, concise, to the point. Next episode, we'll continue work on the pagoda, I think. I just wanted to get this farm started basically with you guys, and then we'll come back to these later and do some little tile stuff. But I'm not planning on putting lights around in here because, you know, in real life, plants need nighttime. I've never understood why it works in Minecraft where they only grow during the day or during whenever they have a light source and stuff like that. I've never really understood that. So we're not going to put lights all throughout the farm because it doesn't really make any sense to do that. We're going to keep it pretty natural. So, I mean, that's pretty much all there is. It's not going to have anything really elaborate to it, except we'll come back later and do a little tiles pattern and basically redo the ridges so they're a little bit nicer. Maybe match up a little bit more with the grass. I might play around with the idea of having, you know, a chiseled dirt or something. We'll see. But, I don't know. I think what we'll probably end up doing is like a little tiles ridge. So, but yeah, that's going to be the food that we're going to start with for now is cornbread. It's going to be really, really easy to have a lot of cornbread on hand, and that's four bars of hunger. It's better than the cooked chicken and stuff that I was eating before. So it's definitely an improvement. But yeah, so anyways, I'm going to end out this episode here. And then next episode we'll continue on with the pagoda and start working. Actually, I think we'll finish out the exterior next episode. I think I was debating, and I think that's what I decided to do. We'll get into some little tiles. We'll make the lanterns and do the rest of the exterior work that we need to do. And then after that, we'll be working on the interior. Which I foresee the interior maybe taking 2 or 3 episodes, kind of cleaning that stuff up. Of course, that's just an estimate. That's not a promise, so don't quote me on it. But yeah, so we'll be getting back into a bit more little tiles work. Then after the little tiles interior is done, I mean, it won't be too long before we can move away from the pagoda and start working on our next project. Because the pagoda is mainly, that's what's left, is just decorating and little tiles work and stuff like that. So exciting stuff. But yeah, so we'll finish out the exterior next episode. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out, and I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys then.